We'll have an invitation.
Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for all the blessings that you've been giving us, Father. Let us do your work here, Father. Open our minds and open our hearts to listen to everything that's going to go on today, Father. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janine, there's no public comment.
No, sir.
At this time, we will consider and approve the minutes of April 26th and April 27th meeting. There are no additions or corrections. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes as read?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as read.
Second.
Motion's been made by Kenny, seconded by Michael. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll consider and approve a resolution declaring results of the city officers election. You can see in there that we're all unopposed, so therefore everyone will return to their seat. Buddy Holmes, District 3, Kenny Rucker, District 4, and Eric Jenkins, Mayor. Get a motion to approve that resolution.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made by Michael, seconded by Eric. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we will have presentation of certificate of election and oath of office for the newly elected District 3 council members, District 4 council member, and mayor as declared elected in resolution number 2021-0222. Come up front, y'all, to
I need your signature here, please, sir, before I do that. And go ahead and sign it. Let you read yours and get ready, and I'll let you. It's easy for you to say it if you read it. In the name, by the authority of the state of Texas. Go ahead.
I, Eric Turpin, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of mayor of the state of Texas and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Thank you. Mr. Rucker.
I, Kenny Rucker, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of council member, District 4, the state of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state and of this state, so help me God.
I, Buddy Holmes, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Councilmember District 3 of the state of Texas and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
And then Mr. Andrew will get a picture.
You want this one? Okay.
Thank you.
You get a good angle?
Is that the one?
A couple of instances.
Probably.
Congratulations to everybody, and do remember that you have 90 days to complete your Texas Open meeting You have to get on the Texas Secretary of State, you have 90 days to complete that Texas Open Meeting Act training, and you need to bring the certificate when you complete that to Janine. But even though you've done it before, we've all got to do it again once.
You can email it to me too if you want to.
Say again.
You can email it if you like.
At this time, we're going to go to number 12, because Justin's got something to do. So now we will consider and approve LEDC water well project. Justin?
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman. We've been working on this project for some time. As of last year, we had some issues with water levels reaching danger low, so we've been working on developing a plan with the LEDCA to fund this water well project we're calling Project Oasis. It took a little time to get with the legal team to authorize this project, but the board did come together to they deemed it necessary to promote and develop new or expand business enterprise, which allow us to invest in water well projects. We use the opinion of probable cost prepared by Park Hill Smith & Cooper, but we will be using Cargill Engineering to do the actual work. The board approved $534,620 for this project. It was estimated around $500,000, but we use their high end of the probable cost in case, if expenses do exceed that $500,000 amount. The board's in full support, and being that it is over $50,000, we need city council's approval to move forward to utilize these funds for this project.
Questions to Justin or Mitch about this? So to give you all a little background, last summer was the first time Littlefield had got into a time that really had to be concerned with water production. We've had higher demand even prior to when the Denham Mill was open than we'd ever had, and part of that was the drought, part of that was all the users, the prison and the plant. But since then, the cities went in, Mike, Neighbors, and Mitch, and y'all addressed all the wells. We had all of our wells are turbines, some of them had, which we have to use vegetable oil for the oil, for the shaft, which promotes the growth of algae, so they went in, y'all got all the wells done, Mike?
Since I've been here, we've done two of them. Two of them were done last year. So we have just a couple of more to do, but they're not to the point yet that we need to do them. They're still producing the 250 to close to 300 gallons a minute. So that's not something you want to jump and do really quick when they're still producing.
So 4 of the 9 wells, or 8, 4 of the 8 wells have been acidized and worked on. Some of them, I think, even have new pumps. So we think that that would get us back up to where we could meet production, but last year LEDCA went to work on, because of the expansion of the milk plant and our needs with the growth out there, and there are some other businesses looking at relocating out there too. Since then, the truck washes came on, so as part of their economic development ability, they're allowed to help with infrastructure for economic developments and public goods. So that's why they're taking over this project, and which is going to benefit the city as a whole, but also give them excess water capacity to market to businesses. So, and Mitch, do you have a time frame on when we think this will start?
We're supposed to be getting the witching done any day now, and then pretty quick after that, they'll drill a test well, probably 4-inch well into the formations and do some testing on that well. And I'd like to move over a little bit and drill our wells and complete them. We hope to be out to bid within about a little less than 3 weeks or so. We have to wait until TCEQ approves the plans we submitted 2 months ago. They normally are 6 weeks, but we're, I think, about 8 weeks into it. So hopefully they'll be getting those approvals out to us. We really can't spend serious money on developing wells until we get TCEQ approval. So I figure we'll be right in the middle of construction, probably in a month and a half or so, depending on how quick the drivers can get to it.
Any other questions for either of them?
We did have this project in 2 phases. We will be funding the expenditures for the 2 wells. We do ask the city of Littlefield do apply for backup lines that would connect directly to Continental Dairy Facility to fulfill their demand. It'll benefit all of US 54, that area, which a lot of development will be going on. So it'll benefit not only the plant, but the water needs out in that area for future development. We just recommend that. It might be a good opportunity to ask for grant funds, but we will be funding the phase 1 of the project with your approval.
Y'all are good with it, if we get a motion to approve LEDCA's water project?
I make a motion we approve that LEDCA water well project.
A second.
That was Kenny.
That was Eric.
Motion's been made by Michael, seconded by Eric. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We'll go back to number 8, consider and approve the resolution of the city of Littlefield authorizing filing of a grant with USDA for a direct loan and grant program for the first responder police portable radios and authorizing the mayor to act on behalf of the city. Measure Chief.
Mike Frost, answering questions. There's a memo in there basically outlining it. We've been going after money. All those directors go after grant money. And, this is no exception. If we can get 50% of it paid, it's a win for us. Anyway,
The memo that's on page 16 is a little bit jacked up. I've got too big of a type. We're asking for 15 Kenwood radios instead of 2. This is a USDA grant where the grant that they would be willing to match could be anywhere from 40 to 50%. The Kenwood radios that we have now, several of them don't even reach the city limits in terms of signal. Quite frankly, right now, we have 3 of our radios at South Plains Communications actually being rebuilt, and that's going to cost us a little bit of money there, just trying to get them to be serviceable. In 2 years, from what Roger Unrein said, the Kenwood radios that we have now will no longer be made or constructed at the factory, and parts for those radios will be extremely hard to come by. So what I'd like to do is take this time to start, before the rush is on, to order Motorola radios. They come to a total of $38,196.75. And if we can get some sort of match from the USDA, that would help out.
That was for how many radios, Chief?
15. We have 13 officers. We would have 2 extra radios for spares just in case. These radios are quite expensive and they're only getting worse.
How long do you think before they'll indicate whether you'll get the grant or not?
Vivian Klecker told me that there's money available. It just depends on whenever I get the grant in. And Mike Jordan has offered his assistance in helping me get that grant through.
I could see it very possibly coming up before the end of the fiscal year, so if we did get the grant, we'd have to match 50% or so. It's usually
Thereabouts, yes, sir.
55 or 45% match.
Yeah, maybe it's worse 60%.
We'll take all the 50% money we can get.
I'm here to tell you. And this goes hand in hand with my second request, if y'all want to consider it. I'm asking for funding for
Give us one
2 extra
second,
vehicles.
start. Any question on the radio grant? If not, can we get a motion to approve that resolution for grant application?
I say motion to approve the grant application for the USDA Texas Communication Program for First Responder Police Portable Radios. and authorizing the mayor to act on behalf of the city of Leadville in matters relating to this application.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made by Eric, seconded by Kenny. Is there any further questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Next, we will consider and approve a resolution of Littlefield City Council authorizing the filing of grant application with USDA, direct loan grant program for first responder police cruisers, and authorizing the mayor to act on behalf of the city. So Chief.
This is another USDA grant that we're willing to put in for. We're asking for 2 new LPD vehicles. I've done a little bit of, well, actually quite a bit of research on it, and the vehicle that would best fit our needs would be a Dodge Durango. And it would be totally fitted out, ready for patrol, and it would be $51,559 for each vehicle. Like I said, those vehicles would be ready to go right off the bat. All we would have to do is supply the radio, the in-car radio system to be fitted out when we take possession of it.
Might point out that this is a grant just for the 2 vehicles. You're not tied to that brand.
We're not tied to that brand or that price because I'm still trying to do some research. The vendor that I've been looking at and corresponding with the most is Defender Supply in the Metroplex.
Y'all evaluating this one you have
Yes, sir.
now.
We're
Chief
I'm
got
still-
the one, I don't know if you'll notice or not, but he got the one that we applied for a while back.
Yes, so that's from the Office of the Governor, and that was totally paid for through a grant there. We did have to make up the difference of $2,000 because we had originally specified a 2020 Dodge Durango, and there were no longer any to be had, so we had to go for a 2021.
Where did, it came from a bike route, didn't it?
It came from Grapevine, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler,
So when you need service, you'll go over to Lubbock to one of those.
or Level M. And like I say, it's not fitted out with any lights or radio equipment or anything like that right now.
Do they put the light bars on them, or do now they just put them in the grill and stuff?
Well, my plans were for that Durango that I have right now is to do in-car features, like the visor lighting and the rear lighting that is in, like currently in the
Sure.
old Blue Beast.
The new ones that you would get, they would be outfitted like with light bars.
Yes, they're totally ready to go.
And you're a Dodge guy, you like that, you like them, obviously, but you like that car so
I like the Dodges mainly because you get more bang for the buck. I'll be honest with you, Tahoes seem to be overpriced, and a lot of people are going towards the Dodge Durango, even DPS. Ford has had a lot of problems with recalls.
The Tahoe would be what, 65?
Well, the city of Muleshoe got a Tahoe for $43,000, but it wasn't totally outfitted. It had light bars, the inside lighting features, a siren, and that was it. The vehicles that I'm looking at are going to be totally ready for patrol. Backseat features, prisoner shield, extra lighting. They're fitted out already with a WatchGuard in-car video system that is already compatible with the system that we have. It's a lot more beneficial than what Gary McComb, the chief of police, and Muleshoe.
Do you have to specify the packages in the grant? I mean, you do, I guess, get to the...
We're not committed to that package, but once I make a decision, it would be better for a match, knowing what USDA would know what they're actually matching.
No department, all departments are getting away from cars, cruisers.
Yes, sir, there's a few departments that are still working with Crown Victorias and Chargers, but this city's streets and dips aren't really supportive of front-end suspensions for vehicles, for cars.
Does anybody even make a car anymore?
Dodge has the Charger. Crown Vics are out of the picture right now.
There was a Chevy, one of those small cars, weren't they doing something?
There was a Ford Focus that you have to specially order. I don't know if it's a Malibu or an Impala. They used to have a Chevy Caprice, and that used to be an awesome vehicle, especially with the LT1 Corvette engine in it. I'm not advocating that, by the way.
I do recognize, I mean, it's a buddy I think's probably worked on some. I know John has, but John McBride told me one day I saw him in town, and he said, y'all got to start planning ahead and thinking about some police cars, because 2 of those have been pretty severely wrecked, haven't they?
Well, one vehicle was used in a vehicle pursuit where the officer tried to do a pit maneuver on 4 different occasions, which wasn't conducive to front-end alignment or anything like that. We've got 3 vehicles right now that have had transmission linkage problems. One of them is sitting over there right in front of the PD right now. We can't get it out of reverse. And you can't start it because it won't get out of reverse, and it's a linkage problem too. So we had one that was hit from behind at about 40-45 miles an hour, and it had all kinds of electrical problems, and burned up the fuse box, wiped out the alternator and 2 batteries. It's running fine right now, and it was one of the decisive vehicles in a vehicle pursuit that the county had last weekend, in fact.
What's the average year model of the vehicle you got right now?
13 and 14.
That's the oldest ones.
Yes, sir. We have 2 vehicles that are over 100,000 miles right now total, and one that's at 98. The rest average out to 45, 46,000. Next one we have in terms of highest mileage is 88,000. But our upkeep figures and all that deal with total mileage and mileage at last service.
But your cars that have been in the wrecks aren't your highest mileage cars, is that correct?
That is correct. Officer Sanders' vehicle, the one that was hit from behind by the intoxicated driver, has 98,000 miles on it. But it's actually one of our better running vehicles. The other one, the officer used in the vehicle pursuit, has a total of 54,053 miles. They're not our highest cost per mile vehicles.
Do you have any comments, Mitch, on Steve?
No, well, we really, before long, we might have to start doing a rotation, and this would give us a really good start if we could start with a couple of half-price ones going forward and get us off to a good start, because we got, total of 12.
And I am looking for something that might be a better deal.
Is there a way to do like the sheriff does, because he gets the family package and then doesn't drill holes in it and put spotlights, and when he goes to trade in, they get quite a bit of significant trade value. Now, he may not have the plexiglass deal and all of that, but like our Tahoes with the 2-tone and holes all through them, they're not going to be worth a lot, I wouldn't suspect.
Well, the 2-tone package is basically a wrap. That can be taken off.
Is that what ours is?
Yes, sir. That's why some of them look kind of ratty, is because the wrap package has been weathered and dinged up a little bit. But as far as drilling holes, we try not to drill holes in the interior. That was one of the problems we had in Lubbock, was officers would be driving holes into the dashboards and all that, which would detract from the resale value. But like the light bar, the spotlights, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, there's no further questions. Can we get a motion to approve that grant application?
motion we approve the resolution, the city of Littlefield council authorizing the filing of a grant application with the USDA Texas Community Facilities Direct Loan Grant Program.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Michael, seconded by Eric. Any further questions or discussion for the chief on it? Thank you, chief.
Thank y'all.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.
Thank you all again.
Next, we will consider and approve allocation of funds to replace a wheel loader and approve budget amendment. Mr. Lance.
I've got you a memo here, just describing our situation. This is a machine that is very essential to so many things that we do. The machine we had was starting to show some signs of wear. We had put a little money in the past, but had a failure on that. And this is a sort of like buy board at Sourcewell through Yellow House Equipment, and they are a machinery company, and they've been really good for us and good to service things. And this machine, they gave us a brand new machine, said, you know, you can just lease it to us. We can just pay a lease on it until our first meeting comes up, and then you guys can make a decision on whether or not to purchase it. If you're concerned with the budget amendment, we can do a 5-year lease purchase to push it off and then make a payment on it after the fiscal year. But on that, that's going to make a big difference whether we pay for it now or wait till after October to pay for it. It's just a piece of equipment we have to have, and not much way around not having one of these machines.
The wheel loader, you put that it would cost approximately $30,000. Lance, you got a bid for the engine was $30,000.
Yeah, it was like 31. It's changed.
But also our pins are wore out, all our pins and bushings, and that was like 18,000.
Yes.
14 or 18, whatever.
Yes.
And a good loader, except those two main, and those pins are a big deal. So we're at that point where it needs a significant amount of money spent on it. And we've had this rented machine for less than a month, right? So we'll have about $5,000 applied. Is that
Right.
correct?
Now, we don't really have a choice on this thing. We can't just continue $5,000 a month till the end of the year. That was a special consideration they made to us to get us a machine now. So when you do your, you know, if we went out and searched for one and ordered a new one somewhere, I just don't know how available that would be. But we have this one and we're using it. It works great. So I would recommend that we
But one thing we know is that the prices keep going up substantially, and then also availability is an issue. Andrew, what would you like to see if we do this? A lease, 5-year lease to help? I mean, it's a pretty good amount to more than budget.
That would be fine. We could do that pretty easy. But we could pay for it too if you could.
Out of this year's budget or next year?
This year's budget's a little murky for me because we've kind of tripped a few things.
But if we do it in next year's budget, it could substantially impact availability of funds to do other stuff too.
That's true.
And then our lease rate would be around probably like 3% interest or something like that.
Yeah, 3-4. That's what we've been getting.
Which would put our payment at 35,000 a year instead of
Yeah. One of the things we've been doing, we did with the track loader is we did a 5-year maintenance program where they come out and schedule certain times and check it and service it and things like that. And it was like $25,000 for 5 years, and that's a real bargain if you're going to spend this money on a machine. But we do that now with that track loader. I recommend that.
So was 25,000 for 5 years,
Isn't it about 26,000 for 5 years?
and they do
Good
service.
service.
They'll come out, change the oil, change all the oil in the drives and all the filters and everything. They,
But we don't have to buy filters or.
we don't have, no,
They do.
Things also.
yeah,
That's a
they do
lot.
it all.
They do the oil analysis check.
Yes,
test.
they do everything. All we do is clean the windows and wash it.
And
They
grab
take
us
care
out
of
if
it.
we're not using it right too.
What's y'all's thoughts on this? And then what would we do with the old one? It would have to go to the Renee Bates. Get it out.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff we're collecting over that.
Oh, yeah.
Have we checked with the Forest Service? There was a grant out there. You would use it for like grass fires and stuff like that. You could apply for a grant to, I think that's the way Amherst did theirs.
They're loaded.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to get a loader through the Forest Service.
Maintainer, they're pretty common.
Yeah.
Amherst got it, which-
Yeah, I talked to Miller when he was, that's the way they got it. They said they would use it for that grass fires. You could-
Yeah, it'd be something to look into, for sure.
Y'all should be able to check into that, and if it's possible to apply, but timing may be an issue too on this one.
Well, the grant stuff's kind of iffy. We could apply for the maintainer, but on this, I don't know. I just have to give Yellow House a yea or nay on it now if we're gonna keep this machine. But we can turn it back, but I don't know how available another one would be.
They'll honor that price still, right?
I mean, I just putting it out there, I know Amherst did theirs.
Well, we're gonna need a maintainer for long, so that would be a good plan to try to apply for one of them.
See if you can go scrape with it.
Scrape.
That's what.
Cut fire guards and scrape.
I think go through SPAG, to apply for that grant.
Well, they've been great to us. We've got lots of stuff in our local fire department.
I'd personally like to see us probably do a lease. Would 3 years be too short, or?
No, I don't think so.
Just that way it's taken care of?
One thing about if you did a 5-year lease, you're just gonna pay it off in 2 next year, or however you want to do it.
If we set it up like that, we never will pay early, but, so, I mean, you give us guidance, Andrew, on what.
I mean, honestly, I would rather see us just pay it and we'll just take the hit this year, or do a short 3 lease on it. I hate tying us up for 5 years on this.
So you want to start with a 3-year lease and then evaluate your budget this year and next year and make a decision on like prepayment early?
Because the way that I feel, it's like, I don't think we'd get ourselves into too bad of trouble if we just went ahead and purchased it right out. But I've been trying to analyze where we're at, and it's just hard because it's kind of a moving target at this point. So a 3-year lease, I know for certain we could probably easily handle, but I mean, honestly, we wouldn't hurt ourselves just paying it out. I mean, it's just gonna make us we're gonna look a little rough this year, for sure, but.
Well, if we start a lease, can we pay it out? I mean, will they let us pay it out, or do we have to honor the 3-year lease?
It just depends the terms, usually.
I don't think there'd be a penalty or anything like that. I mean, they're great to work with.
That's an easy setup, right? I mean, for cities, they've got certain leasing companies that it's not like we do it from Warren Cat, it's a bank that you do that with.
Oh, yeah, I can go down to our bank and get one pretty easily.
Well, and this thing with Yellow House, however they do theirs, we wouldn't make a payment on it until October.
So how do you want the motion? Do you want to just, y'all come back to us with, we'll buy it, and then y'all come back to us with a plan to, now we're gonna pay for it, or you want that tonight?
Do you want to try to put it on next year, boss, on like next fiscal year?
Well, I guess y'all need to make a decision whether we want to buy it now or finance it. And to finance it, I'd say just go ahead and go with the 3-year, and if it's not conducive to what we want to do, then we do a 5-year lease. And then if we wanted to, just pay it all off that next year if you wanted to do that. But I do feel like I need a decision if we're going to keep this unit, to move that one or the other, to pay it now or pay it after this fiscal year.
I make a motion, we purchase this leased loader from Yellow House Machinery with either a 3-year lease or a 3-year loan from our bank for y'all to decide.
Second.
Motion's been made by Eric, seconded by Buddy. Any further discussion? So y'all will just decide what the best terms are within 3 years.
Yeah, we'll see where we can get.
Is that, you're good with that, Janine?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Next, we will consider and approve an ordinance of the City of Littlefield adopting amendment number 3 to the original budget of the City of Littlefield for this fiscal year.
And we won't need that.
No, we don't need that. No. Well, we'll have to get terms before we bring back a budget amendment, so yeah. Okay.
So we don't need that. We've done 12, we already granted. Right, y'all should have a meeting.
I'd like to have one where I thought I had this.
Man, you gotta, we don't buy this one, it'll be $15,000 higher.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. They probably, ain't nobody waiting right now.
Pretty